Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sheriff's Mic with me, your sheriff, Kory Honea. I'll start off with this. You may notice that I have a black eye today. I wish I had a great story to tell you about how I was chasing down criminals and doing law enforcement work. The fact of the matter is it's not that glamorous. I do train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on a regular basis, and last Monday while sparring, I took a thumb to the eye. So hopefully it's not too distracting, but I certainly wanted to let everybody know why I am sporting a black eye today. Today's episode is a pretty cool one. You may or may not know about the Butte County Sheriff's Search and Rescue. It is an auxiliary unit of the Butte County Sheriff's Office made up of all volunteers. And frankly, it's one of our more busy units. They deploy on a regular basis to go out to rescue people who have been lost or got themselves into a situation where they need assistance. And I'm joined today by the captain of our search and rescue team, Dan Newman. Dan, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you on board. So Dan, let's start off with a little bit about you and how it is that you came to be a member of the Butte County Sheriff's Search and Rescue, and ultimately how you became the captain.
Sure. Well, I started off as a client.
Okay. That's a great story. Wait, stop there. What do you mean you started as a client? How did that happen? Okay.
I was 18 years old, Paradise resident, had been four-wheeling in a group from Paradise.
Okay.
And we were up above Inskip, bunch of Jeeps and Land Cruisers got stuck in the snow. And we were okay. We were going to dig ourselves out the next day.
Okay.
But one of the folks we were with, their parents panicked, called 911. And so search and rescue showed up like 2 a.m.
Okay.
And it had snowed during the night.
Yeah.
And I had no clue this team existed.
Right.
They all had really built up Jeeps and Land Cruisers wearing sheriff uniforms.
Okay.
And they pulled us out and kind of brought us back to civilization.
Okay.
And ever since then, I was intrigued. I was hooked and started going to meetings. That was in 2000.
Okay.
And started the membership process in 2001. And so I've been a member ever since.
Wow. So how long after you were rescued by Search and Rescue did you start going to the meetings?
Just a few months after.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you were truly inspired to the vision when you encountered them for the first time.
Yes, I stopped in at a meeting to pretty much say thank you.
Okay.
And then met the team in person and was just super impressed. They were like a family, so
yeah.
I thought this would be a good calling.
So that's 25 years ago.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you've been involved with the organization ever since.
Yes.
That's a pretty cool. I'm glad that we got to that point because I was unaware of. I knew you'd been with the search rescue team for a long time, but I was unaware of how that all came to be. So I'm glad we were able to pull that out. So you started 25 years ago and started going to the meetings, get on the team. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about your journey to where you're at today.
Well, I was going to Chico State doing electrical engineering.
Okay.
And I graduated in 2005, and I had just become a rope rescue technician on the team.
Okay.
And that took a long time, a lot of training, a lot of skill, and I was not ready to give that up yet.
Okay.
So job searching after graduation, I made the decision to stay local, look for engineering jobs here in Chico. Locally, I found a company that was hiring here in the North State, so I was able to stay local. So since then, I've had a number of positions on the team. I got into swiftwater rescue, got into search management, and eventually got on our board of directors. Mm-hmm. And so in 2015, our captain at the time stepped down, and you appointed me as captain. And
that's right.
It's been about 10 years.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's been an eventful 10 years. And we're going to get into, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff has happened in the last 10 years.
Indeed.
And I want to get into that, also get into some of the technical capabilities of search and rescue. But I want to highlight the fact, your profession, you're an electrical engineer.
Yes.
And so that's your day job.
Yes.
Is that right? Right.
That's correct.
And so all of the stuff that you do with search and rescue is outside of what you do to make a living. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not atypical, right? The vast majority of the people who are part of our search and rescue team, again, they're all volunteer, but they have professional lives as well, right?
Right, and that's why it's kind of difficult to become a member because so often we're putting our families in turmoil,
For sure.
and our employers in turmoil,
Right.
and they're kind of used to us having to go
Yeah.
at drop of a hat, and so they do put up with quite a bit, and
For sure.
It's kind of part of the calling.
Yeah. So I want to delve into that a little deeper too, but let's go into the history of the Butte County Sheriff's Search and Rescue, because it wasn't a couple of years ago they celebrated a pretty significant milestone in terms of an anniversary, right?
Yes, yeah.
It was 30, correct?
60th.
Oh, 60th. Okay,
Yes.
very good. And what have you learned during your almost, if it's 60, you've been with the program almost half of its existence, right?
Correct.
Have you ever thought of it?
No.
Right, okay. All right.
That's a good point.
It is, right. And so tell us a little bit about the history of the Butte County Sheriff's Search and Rescue and how it is that we got to this point today.
Sure. Well, we started out as a real basic team back in 1961. There was, back in 1960, a missing 3-year-old girl up in Cohasset. The sheriff deputies went up to help search for her, and there was a call out on the local AM radio station from the sheriff at the time, Sheriff Gillick, asking for the community's help.
Okay.
And they had over 1,000 community members show up in Cohasset to search.
Wow.
And that was a cluster.
For sure.
Very chaotic. And so, long story short, luckily the girl was found. She was okay. But the chaos that came with that many searchers, no organization, the sheriff at the time decided, we need to formalize this. We need to have a search and rescue team in the county that we can call upon when things like this happen.
Okay.
And so for the first few decades, the team, was fairly basic.
Okay.
Very basic gear. If you had a pickup truck and a length of rope,
Right.
and a CB radio, those were kind of the tools at the time.
Yeah.
And even since I've been on the team, the amount of technology, the strategies, the gear, everything has just skyrocketed. I mean, we are so high tech these days. Especially when we're talking about the computing power that we have. AI has even gotten into search and rescue.
Yeah.
Drones. Just about every technological innovation that's come out, our team has adopted to help us do what we do.
It's pretty amazing. And, we even see today when you have well-intentioned people who want to help out with searches, if they're not part of the organized effort, they haven't received the appropriate training, it can create chaos. It can be really, really problematic and actually inhibit or create problems for the search effort that we're trying to conduct, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, we have to preserve any sort of sign or clues, and make sure, especially if we're doing tracking, trying to look for tracks in the field. Make sure that all of that is preserved. I mean, there's so many reasons why we have to have a well-organized, vetted team trained on how to do this. We certainly appreciate the public's willingness to help.
Right.
And we'll use that in such a way that they don't interfere with what we're doing.
Right.
Certainly when they print posters and spread the word, social media, stuff like that, we definitely appreciate that aspect.
Yeah. But it's got to be managed. It's got to be part of the
Yes.
overall effort, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so many things to talk about, and let's go with, give me an idea of the kinds of people that we have on our team. And what I'm looking for is, from what walks of life do they come from? What kind of professions do they have?
Sure.
Those kinds of things.
Well, we really are a cross-section of the citizens of Butte County.
Okay.
And we have all sorts of walks of life. I would say the common factor is our members both have a love and passion for not only the outdoors, but for helping others. And those that come to our team and end up becoming members and excelling really have that sense of adventure, coupled with I'd say a humanitarian edge on them.
Yeah.
And so those types of people make the best members. But it also takes quite a bit of time and effort and energy.
Right.
And so, your family has to be ready for that.
Right.
Putting your family in turmoil, your employer, all of that comes into consideration. So, throughout the year, we have about 100 people walk in our door wanting to become members
Really?
or interested in joining.
Okay.
And once we share the commitment level,
Right.
what it takes, that dwindles down pretty quickly to about 20.
Okay.
And so at that point, we will interview you.
Mm-hmm.
You start coming to trainings and meetings, work parties. We'll actually go on a hike with you.
Okay.
To make sure not only your physical fitness, but hiking 8 miles with you, we learn a lot about you.
Okay.
And so from that 20, we get down to about 10 that we accept, and then we have a boot camp or a membership academy. And then at the end of that, I'd say we get about 6 or 7 new members a year.
So what's the current? How many members do we currently have?
Almost 60.
Wow, that's a good number.
Yes,
that's a good number.
Yes.
And what's the rate of attrition? I mean, how many members do you generally lose a year?
I would say no more than 3 or 4.
Okay.
I mean, we're trying to build our team now. Certainly the disaster years, right? The campfire,
Yeah.
the pandemic.
Yeah.
Those events hit our team pretty drastically.
Sure.
We had members lose their homes, lose their employment, and so we've certainly been shooken up over the last 5 or 6 years. But no, we're trying to grow our team. I mean, I think if we had 70 or 80, we would be fantastic.
Yeah. So before we leave kind of the, what it looks like to be a search and rescue member, you're an electrical engineer. We have people who have, who come from all walks of life, but also all kinds of professions, right?
Right.
We have people who are medical professionals, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Doctors, nurses.
Yes. Yeah. PAs.
I think we've had a lawyer or two.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Retired cops, all kinds of people.
And a lot of field service, a lot of folks who know how to turn a wrench.
Yeah.
And the maintenance side of our team is huge. And it didn't used to be.
Yeah.
The amount of equipment that we have today, the snowcats,
Mm-hmm.
the quads, the snowmobiles, a lot of the vehicles that we've customized and built.
Right.
Luckily we have those folks that, during the day, have jobs in the service field.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to take those skills and talents into our team. And I think, again, that's what makes a good member is, everybody wants to save lives and look for lost people, but everyone on our team has found their niche.
Yeah.
That, saving lives obviously is the primary mission, but they love, mapping.
Yeah.
Or, turning a wrench or, all the other aspects that need to happen on our team. And I think that's what makes us run so well.
I think on first blush, someone just search and rescue, they must go out and walk around the woods and look for people who got lost, that kind of thing. And that's part of it. There's times there are people that do that part of the thing, but there's so much more to it. We talk about the technical capabilities of our team, and you mentioned a little bit about some of the equipment, some of the things. So to peel this back so that people have a kind of understanding, let's talk about the various capabilities that our team has. And you mentioned a little bit like rope rescue and swiftwater rescue and things like that. Can you list out all of these specialties that we have beyond just walking around in the forest looking for people?
Yeah, I mean, we have dozens. I mean, we have a fantastic canine team.
Okay, so tell us about that.
Yeah, they're trained to go out and actually trail somebody. If we have a scent article that they can use, they can trail. They can also clear an area.
Okay.
So if we don't have that scent article, they can clear an area, and they're also trained in cadaver.
Okay.
And so if unfortunately this happens, we're looking for someone who's likely deceased.
Right.
Our canines train on that as well.
Okay.
We also have trackers, so man tracking. That is a whole nother skill set in and of itself. Looking for sign and clues, footsteps out in the field.
And that's human beings looking for other human beings that have gone through the area.
Yes.
And we say sign. Give us an example of what a sign might be that you'd be looking for.
It's very subtle. I mean, we're talking about vegetation, brush that is bent in a certain way.
Disturbed,
Right, and from that, I mean, you can tell a lot of different things. If the person was in a hurry, if they're what direction they were going, perhaps the size of the person. Obviously, we're looking for footprints and shoe prints as well. But that certainly helped us at least get the right direction on where to search from a place that they were last seen.
Okay. Canines, man trackers. What else we have?
Well, as far as our tech rescue, we do rope rescue, so high angle rescue. That's like over a cliff somewhere steep. We certainly have a lot of that in Butte County.
We do.
A lot of cliffs, a lot of ravines.
Lookout Point is a good example. How many times have you had to rappel over the side of that?
Dozens.
Yeah.
Luckily, less often these days since they developed that. But no, we train right alongside with all the local fire departments and CAL FIRE. We have this amazing organization now, BERG, the Butte Interagency Rescue Group, where we meet quarterly with all the fire departments and in CAL FIRE, making sure that we're training to the same standards, that we're performing rescue consistently. And so when we do show up to a call, whether it's CAL FIRE, Chico Fire, that we can work together. We're using the same gear, the same technique. Our training is from the same curriculum. And it's worked out really, really well for us. And that dives into our other rescue modalities, swiftwater rescue. We have a lot of moving water here in Butte County, obviously the Sacramento River, Feather River, Butte Creek. And I would say some years that's our highest call volume. Folks who get swept down in the water, whether they're tubing the Sacramento River or fishing, or driving around the road closed signs.
Right, the road closed signs, exactly.
So that is a huge modality in our team, and I'd say the gear that we have, the inflatable boats, the rafts, the life jackets, that's probably one of the biggest things that we spend money on
for sure
on our team. We have a dive team. And they are fantastic. That certainly takes a special sort of somebody. This isn't. Diving in Butte County is not like the tropics. You are in a place that's dark, that's usually murky, and a lot of times full of debris and rebar and stuff. So they're a very highly skilled, technically qualified team that trains monthly. And they're pretty sufficient at that. So we also have our mountain rescue team and our motorized team. And so they kind of come to shine in the winter. And so when we have huge storms that come in, dump a bunch of snow, we get tons of calls for folks that are stuck in the snow, stranded, whether they were four-wheeling or just trying to get to their cabin or what have you. They're the ones that operate our snowcats, our snowmobiles. And that's probably one of the most difficult things that we do on the team is winter calls. Most folks don't realize in Butte County we have elevation that goes over 7,000 feet. And some storms, I mean, there may be 12, 15 feet of snow, kind of at the border of the Butte-Plumas County line. And those sort of calls really stretch our team as far as equipment, energy, good communication, and they certainly take the most amount of time. And so we kind of consider them perhaps some of the more dangerous calls that we go on. Just of course, if anything happens out there, we're not next to a paved road.
That's right.
So,
exactly right. Okay. So the mechanized unit, is it
yes. Motorized. And then we have air ops. I mean, we are so blessed to have the helicopters that we do. And so a lot of the technical rescues that would have taken hours and hours and hours to do with a rope system, we can do in a matter of minutes with the helicopter. So we perform short haul, which is a type of rescue. We have a 100 and 150 foot rope underneath the helicopter. We'll tie a rescuer in with a Stokes litter, and we can insert that rescuer in pretty much anywhere. And within a matter of minutes, have hands on the patient, assess them, package them up, and transport them back to a waiting ambulance. And we're highly successful at that, and thank God we have those resources.
Of course, So, it occurs to me, and you talk about, we work really closely with CAL FIRE and other fire agencies within Butte County, CAL FIRE being the primary one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not uncommon for us to co-respond to those kinds of emergency situations, right?
Right.
And they have similar capabilities, but we work closely with them and together. The one thing that we have locally, obviously, is the helicopters, right? The air ops. And that's something that our search and rescue team has become extraordinarily good at utilizing that resource to conduct rescues and conduct searches and things of that nature.
Right. And we'll even use them to transport our teams. I mean, if we have a search in the middle of nowhere, it's much quicker to insert people into the field with the helicopter.
Get them there quick,
versus a Polaris Ranger or a pickup truck.
Yeah.
So,
what other technical units do you have associated with the team?
Well, we have a drone team.
Tell us more.
And this is a fairly recent addition. Okay. Drones have really become a big thing over the last few years.
Yes.
And we started out with our first drones, I'd say about 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
The battery flight time wasn't great. The images weren't all that great. And just over the last few years, all of that has changed. We now have 4K video, thermal imagery, and we're able to go a significant amount of distance in the field, and that's really allowed us to clear large areas very quickly and rule out whether somebody's there or not.
Right.
It's also helped us direct teams in the field.
Okay.
So we're able to monitor our teams. And for situational awareness really helps us then orchestrate the rest of the search based on the aerial imagery that we get.
Yeah.
So we've had a number of calls where we've arrived at scene, deployed the drone for some quick recon, and within a minute or two we've got them on the thermal imagery, and we're able to confirm where they're at, direct teams in there, and come back, swap out batteries, and then watch the convoy come back in.
Right.
And it's especially helpful out on the river. Especially at night, any heat signatures on the water is really going to pop.
Okay.
And so we've had tubers on the river that go past the sun going down. We've had fishermen, and again, within minutes, we're able to see where they're at and kind of assess what we're going to need to affect that rescue.
Yeah. You start thinking about this, and again, this notion that you have some guys with rope who are traipsing around in the woods, and now we're talking about the kind of technology and technical expertise that is really what our team has evolved into, right? And utilizing is a pretty amazing thing.
Well, it is, and then even with AI recently, we're now in the beginning stages of taking that drone imagery or that video and having AI analyze it.
Okay.
And we're all huddled over a flat screen trying to see what we're seeing. Well, now we're having AI analyze that and go, well, hey, did you see this?
Right.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
And there was actually a case out in Colorado recently where a team had cleared a mountainside and concluded that there was nobody there, and AI found the helmet of a climber.
Really? Okay.
And that led to them finding the missing climber.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at with the technology these days.
That is absolutely amazing. Are there any other techniques? I want to get into search management.
Yes.
Because search management is a really something probably people have no understanding of or no clue, but it is so complex, and it really is the key, I think. You can have all of the technical expertise, all of the tools, but if you don't manage the search, then your potential for success is probably limited. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And within the first few hours, I mean, obviously we're in a hasty mood. We're trying to find them quickly.
Yeah, you get in there, you start looking around, doing the thing. Okay.
And in that stage, we're already assessing the lost person behavior database. We have data from thousands of searches with statistics on where somebody would likely to be found based on what was if they're an outdoorsman, if elderly, young, if they were, Alzheimer's, dementia, child with autism. And from that data, we're able to orchestrate a search pretty quickly. We need to focus, downhill, downslope, or we need, they're attracted to water. There's a lot of these details.
These human factors guide your initial search. Okay.
Yes.
And we've topography and so forth. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been very successful with that. I would say the majority of the folks that we've found meet the criteria of the statistics. And so we're really not wasting a lot of time when
sure.
we're out there in hasty mode.
And a quick question on that is, so that database that you have, I mean, it's based on, your historical knowledge about the way people react in certain circumstances.
Yes.
Is that derived solely from Butte County searches, or is that something that's
nationwide?
Nationwide, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's been a couple books produced. That there's actually a database as well, and these researchers have taken data on when somebody gets lost. Ultimately, where are they found, and what factors of that person led them to where they were at? Did they panic? Were they likely to go off and run, or were they more likely to hunker down and stay put?
Yeah.
And that varies greatly. Obviously, we want folks to stay put.
I want to talk about what we want people to do before we conclude today. But I mean, what's interesting is that, again, it's this level of expertise and there's this really scientific approach
to
how these are done. And then utilizing that approach, then the technical capabilities of all the things that we can bring to bear in a particular situation. I don't think many people really fully comprehend or understand how sophisticated this entire operation is, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we obviously still need people. I mean, ultimately, we need boots on the ground.
Yeah, right,
we need people out in the woods. I think what has changed drastically, though, is the assignments that we make, how we are coming up with the areas to search.
Okay.
So if we haven't found our missing person within a few hours, we are calling for help.
Okay.
And we activate the mutual aid system in California. We can get several hundred searchers, certainly within 24 hours.
From other counties, other sheriff's offices can bring those resources to bear. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'd say that happens probably, once or twice a year. We'll have a large scale search. And from there, using that data and then using our mapping software, we'll create assignments based on the topography and being able to insert teams in, certainly the data we get from our drones, and being able to produce those assignments, get teams out in the field efficiently, and then when they come back in, debriefing them and go, well, where did you search? And we're tracking them now with smartphones. We have an app that we use that all the searchers come in, scan a QR code, and within minutes, they're ready to go out in the field. They're not sitting there waiting to be told what to do. It's you show up and it's like clockwork.
So that comes back to, again, managing a search is in and of itself this entire operation, right? Where you have the people are out, boots on the ground, as you said, maybe they're drones, maybe they're being searched, helicopter, all those kinds of things are going on. But you have this group of people who specialize in making sure that we have a systematic approach based on high probability areas and based on all the data and the science and so forth. And then we keep track of where everybody is, right? Where they research. And a lot of that technology that you talked about is, one of the things that I'm constantly amazed about is how where every searcher is within the search area and what ground they've been covering and what their pattern was. I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing. How does that work?
Well, all of our searchers have a number of devices on them. We have a smartphone with our mapping app, and if we have cell service, we're obviously tracking them in the field real time. Yeah, and so we don't then need to ask them on the radio, "How are you guys doing?" We can see they're in their zone, they're moving, they're good. Yeah, we have an extensive communication network in the county with radios, but more often than not, we're tracking them on the app. Sure. And then we have a lot of satellite-based technology as well, coming in with the Nanos. That's an Iridium product, and then we also have Starlink out in the field as well. So it's normal for us to have a command post where the leadership is, but then we'll have forward staging areas with Wi-Fi, and teams will search their assignment, come in, and all that data then gets uploaded via the Wi-Fi, and then at our command post, the whole search is in real time being displayed on the screen. And so from that, our search managers are able to see the areas that are being covered, that we can kind of start checking the box like, okay, we've got that covered. And then what we're going to need to go back and search further. And so they're constantly creating plans for the next period. Right. And so as we get new searchers coming in, those assignments are being made and they're being deployed essentially before the previous teams are even coming out of the field yet.
Yeah, you have a plan ready to go
Right.
for when they come in. So there's two pieces I want to kind of flesh out on there. And one is the communications, because communication is a key
Yes.
component to all of this, right? In
Yes.
terms of knowing where people are, making sure that the searchers are safe, making sure that you're covering the ground that needs to be covered, and being able to communicate back and forth. And we often, although we do have a robust radio system in Butte County, you're often in places where even a robust radio system doesn't always work that well.
Right. And what we found, going back decades, every time we debriefed our search
Yeah.
or our rescue and, what went well, what didn't go well, kind of a common theme was communications.
Right.
Lack of communication, poor communication. And so about 10 years ago, we decided to build our own radio network. We
Okay.
had a bunch of ham radio operators on our
Right.
team, some techie folks, myself included.
Right.
And, we took a look at what it would take, installing equipment and mountaintops, getting the permissions, the funding. Because, we learned you can have the best people, you can have the best equipment, but man, if they're unable to communicate,
Right.
your mission is lost.
Absolutely.
And so today we've got 12 radio sites. Just about every fire lookout tower in the county has our equipment on it. And a lot of mountaintops way out in the middle of nowhere. They're all networked together.
Yeah.
And so we can be in the field with our handheld radio and be able to communicate not only amongst ourselves, but back down to dispatch as well. And so that's increased our productivity and certainly the safety of our teams in
Yeah.
the field. Because obviously we're focused on finding who we're looking for, but we're also accountable for our team members.
100%.
And
Absolutely.
that's certainly helped us out greatly with
Yeah.
that.
So you have this radio capability
Yes.
that is above and beyond what the county system is.
Yeah.
But you also talked about the ability to have satellite connectivity,
Yes.
right? Internet connectivity in remote areas, all those kinds of things. And I know we have a comm reserve team, right? And they work very closely.
Yes.
And I'm often amazed at, I'll shout out them, I'm amazed at the ability to hook up communications in the middle of nowhere and be able to talk to people about what's going on, which is really frustrating when you can't do that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that team is fantastic at
Yeah.
that. It's a small auxiliary team.
Yeah.
And made up of again ham radio folks, 2A radio technicians, engineers here in the county that again have a niche for this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
They obviously love saving lives, but more so they love radio.
Right.
And to get them out in the woods, middle of nowhere, even middle of the night to set this stuff up, it's fun for them.
Yeah.
And so they've been a huge help. They'll set up extensive communication networks for us. If we tell them, we have this ravine on the backside of, let's say Brush Creek down the Middle Fork, Feather River, they'll come up with the plan and set up the infrastructure. So the next day when we're searching, everything just works.
Yeah.
And we're very thankful for them.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I want to give people a sense of how frequently the Sheriff's Search Rescue Team gets deployed. And I tell the story a lot. Every time you guys get called out, I get a text message. I know when you're getting called out. And it happens 2 to 3 times a week on an average week. Is that a fair statement?
That's correct.
Yeah. It really does. And those are just the day-to-day kind of simple or run-of-the-mill rescues, if you will, 2 to 3 times a week that's going off. And it's going off during the day, at night, on weekends, holidays, hot days, cold days, snowy days, rainy days. It doesn't matter. It's always going, right?
Right.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what that response looks like. So as a team member, you're getting the same text messages that I am, right?
Right.
What happens next? How does that all come together? Because again, nobody's sitting around search and rescue headquarters waiting for the next call.
That would be nice.
That would be nice, but that'd be more like a firefighter, right? But we don't have that luxury. So you're responding from your job, your home, your kid's baseball game. I don't know. What does that look like?
Well, immediately there's a little bit of adrenaline.
Okay.
Coupled with a little bit of panic, and you're immediately thinking, can I go?
Okay.
obviously our family and loved ones are our priority. What sort of turmoil is this going to put them in? Can I go? Am I going to get fired from my day job?
Okay.
As soon as we can make that determination, we're going.
Yeah.
And we immediately start coordinating who's doing what, who's available. We have a lot of equipment that would likely need to be brought out, especially if it's a large steel search or a tech rescue, if we need boats or any specialized equipment. So we're coordinating who's going down to our headquarters to pick up our gear.
And how do you do that? What's the mechanism that you use to coordinate?
Radio, and then we also use our smartphones. We have
got it. So you have
an app
group
that we
set
use.
up that you're able to start communicating immediately.
Yeah, blasts out to the entire team.
Okay.
And then very quickly, we have folks working behind the scenes that go, well, I can't respond right now, but I can get a map started.
Okay.
So they're working on getting hold of dispatch, getting the coordinates, trying to get some more details, see if we can get some contact info, perhaps who reported them missing, if we could call them, get more description, or start interviewing, trying to get some more details on what we're responding to. And then, we're coordinating a staging area.
Okay.
We have all these resources showing up. Where are we going to park?
Right.
Right. What other resources are we going to need? Are we going to need CAL FIRE on this? If it's a tech rescue, we both have that joint jurisdictional authority. Let's get fire going.
Yeah.
Do we need our helicopter?
Uh-huh.
And so there's a lot of gears moving as far as getting all the pieces of the puzzle out to orchestrate a search or a rescue.
And this is beginning the moment the text is received, the call goes out. This whole mechanism starts, right? You start getting these gears going, right?
Right. I'm also on another chat group with our pilots.
Okay.
Seeing who's available to fly.
Yeah.
Sometimes other agencies will text me, certainly state parks if it's near their jurisdiction. We have a great relationship with Fish and Wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
And, even private property owners. We have a great relationship with Sierra Pacific Industries, SPI.
Yeah.
And their patrolmen are on our radio system.
Is that right?
And they're chiming in, going, hey, if you're responding here, there's a tree across, you might consider, there's a gate here, here's the combo for that. So it's information overload, certainly for the first probably 20 minutes.
Yeah. And so you've got people who are headed to the headquarters to get whatever equipment is needed for that particular situation.
Correct.
Right? And does everybody go to the headquarters and deploy from there, or do you have some people that go directly to wherever the staging area is?
Right. Most members will respond directly to where we're going. We'll only have perhaps maybe 4 or 5 go to headquarters, pick up what we need, hitch up to the trailers of whatever equipment we need and go.
Yeah.
And so when we arrive on scene, we immediately tie in with, if it's a search, the deputy who's doing the missing persons report. If it's a rescue, we'll tie in with CAL FIRE, establish a unified command, and kind of come up with our game plan there.
Yeah.
And then we'll also have logistical needs.
Okay.
So we have folks working in the background of, are we going to need food? Are we going to need gasoline or lighting or any number of supplies?
Right.
And so there's a lot to consider for sure.
On an average call out, how many members do you think will show up?
On a good one, we'll have about a quarter to a third of the team.
Okay.
That's why it's so nice having 60 members right now. I mean, we all have day jobs or go to school. We're banking on any given time that we get, at least a quarter or a third of them.
Right.
And it's certainly difficult if it's in the middle of the workday.
For sure.
Having folks kind of get up and leave their employer is tough.
Yeah.
Versus if it's in the evening or a weekend, we'll certainly get a lot more response.
Yeah. And there's probably some advantage to that too, because if the search goes many hours, you're going to have relief come in, right?
Right.
And so, that allows other team members who weren't initially able to respond to perhaps respond later on to provide that kind of relief.
Correct. And we're all on chat. We're all trying to coordinate that. Like, hey, I can't respond right now, but I can leave in 4 hours. Let me know what you need.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that.
Yeah. So, in addition to the, tell me what the kinds of searches that you get, because they come across like, I get, it seems like every time the wildflowers bloom on the top of
Table Mountain,
yes. You're going to get somebody who is broken an ankle, right?
Right.
And you got to go get them, right?
Yeah, that's one of our hot spots for sure.
Right. During the summer, people floating down the river, you're going to have calls floating on the river. I often joke, whenever it snows, inevitably you're going to get a call from someone who decided that. The joke I have is it's on Christmas Eve. I decide that I'm going to go get a Christmas tree in Butte Meadows, driving my Toyota Tercel with ball tires, wearing shorts and a flip flop, and I forgot to take my cell phone. That's the kind of calls that we we'll get, right. Yeah. You guys go traipsing up there, right, to ultimately find those people. I want to get maybe in a minute like some of the more noteworthy calls, but in addition to search and rescue calls like that. It's not uncommon for us to call you and the team out to help us with evidence searches, right?
Right.
Article searches.
And that's kind of one of the cooler things that we do. I mean, those calls, we don't need the whole team. Typically, a lot of times a bad guy has tossed a weapon over a cliff or in the water.
Right.
And, working for your investigations or evidence team is pretty cool. And I think that's one of the neat things as a citizen volunteer. Right. You get involved in such deep aspects of law enforcement. And so we absolutely love that aspect, and we're able to, nobody's life is at risk at that moment, so we can slow down and orchestrate if we need to set up a rope system, to go over, let's say, Highway 70 to the Feather River and retrieve something, or search for evidence in a field. We have metal detectors. We certainly enjoy doing that, and it's kind of one of the neat things that we're able to do for the sheriff's office.
Yeah, I mean, I have I think one of the most recent ones. It's been a while now, a couple of years now, but there was a homicide at the strip club out on Highway 99, right?
Yes.
And suspect ran and tossed a gun, right? And ultimately called in our search and rescue team to help us locate that evidence, right?
Right, and because of the man trackers, we were able to determine the exact path that person took.
Yeah.
And so, estimating the weight of the gun and how far he would be able to throw it, we had a very well-defined search area. Now, it was several miles long.
For sure,
But we were able to search it, and within, I think, the first hour or two of that search, we located that firearm.
Yeah.
And that was a huge win for us.
Absolutely.
That was pretty cool.
Well, critical for the homicide investigation, no doubt about it. And that's something, I mean, again, we work closely with CAL FIRE in terms of the rescue side of things, but that particular aspect of your mission, helping with criminal investigations, searching, that's unique to our search and rescue team. That's not something that we can call anybody else for.
Right.
There's another side of it, which is, a little tougher part of it is also recovery, right? Recovery of human remains. Generally speaking, that the only entity or group that we can reach out to when we know that we're looking for someone who's passed away is our search and rescue team.
Right. And so often that happens in an area that's inaccessible or difficult to get to, or, there's a water component.
Yep.
And so, we we'll respond to those, and obviously it's difficult, but we've got the tools and the gear, the talent to be able to get into those areas.
Yep. Yeah, and it's a critical thing, because without the capabilities you had, we would have a much more challenging time, doing those kinds of things, and it's a critical part of what the sheriff's office does.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are the day-to-day things, but we began this podcast with you saying you've been the captain for about a decade now.
Yes.
And I've been the sheriff for a little over a decade now, and I don't know what happened, my friend, but the last decade has been off the hook.
No more disasters, please.
I would love no more. I would love no more disasters, but man, we have had our fair share of significant events and disasters, and I'm not entirely sure how often our search and rescue team was utilized for those kinds of major events prior to this, but now our search and rescue team is a primary component to our disaster response, right?
Right. It used to be we would be used as boots on the ground, just door to door, knocking on doors, hey, there's a fire coming, and we would help citizens get out.
Right.
And that was kind of the extent of, what we would do during fires. It really was the campfire that kind of changed things. We started off as boots on the ground. In fact, I was deployed to Lower Paradise.
Okay.
Going door to door, trying to get folks out. And that was when the fire was, just barely between Pulga and Concow.
Right.
And within, I'd say an hour, we found ourselves out at Butte College, working in the back of our trailer. And we had hundreds of law enforcement showing up, needing assignments.
Right.
And, obviously that overwhelmed us at first, but we were quickly utilized to organize these resources into individual teams and go deploy them to, various areas of the town. I mean, I remember there was a backlog of thousands of 911 calls of, I'm don't have a vehicle, I can't get out, or, I'm in a wheelchair, et cetera. And we would take, those teams of law enforcement, pair them up. Well, okay, here's 10 calls, go and do what you can.
Right.
And then since then, that spurred the zoning of the county.
Right.
Because the evacuation zones were, prior to that were done, at the time of the incident.
Yeah.
And I know, the town of Paradise had zones, and we had some way, and they, a lot of times they wouldn't match up exactly. So we were tasked with helping the sheriff's office zone the county.
Yeah.
After the campfire, and we really enjoyed that. I mean, we partnered with CAL FIRE, the county GIS, and we took several months, and we did a really good job of zoning out the entire county, not just for evacuation, but the consideration of traffic control points, and then even repopulation. Once the disaster is over, these zones are then used to repopulate an area methodically, and not to add to the chaos. And so we did that in 2020. 2021, we had the Dixie Fire, and we were quickly asked by some of the surrounding counties. I know we helped out Plumas, Lassen, Tehama. What we did for our county in months, we did like overnight for them, help them zone out their counties.
Right.
And then, I think we helped out some of the other counties in the state too, Trinity, Siskiyou, perhaps. And then since then, we've kind of been looked upon as, hate to say it, but the experts in how to do this.
It is. I mean, obviously that expertise was literally walk through the fire, right?
Right.
You got it by walking through the fire, but you've got it now, and it's coming to a lot of people are now calling upon it.
And it really hit us last year when Los Angeles burned. We had the Eaton fire and the Palisades fire. That's
correct.
And LA County got a hold of us and said, "Hey, we could really use your help."
Yeah.
And we were honored to be requested, and we sent a team of 5 members down there for several days. We were at the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
Helping LA County kind of orchestrate their search and recovery phase of those fires.
Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack there, and in addition to I want to go back to I think our team, because of what we have been through in Butte County, has evolved into areas that a lot of other teams probably don't have the expertise in, and maybe no one ever contemplated utilizing their search and rescue team. This whole obviously the door-to-door getting people out is an important aspect of it,
right.
But I don't think people really understand how critically important the management side of that is, right?
Yes.
We keep all that stuff straight. And you talked about the campfire, having thousands of 911 calls and locations where people could be that all ultimately had to be checked. Coordinating that, making sure that it all got done was where you guys really stepped in and just shined. I mean, just incredibly shined.
Thank you.
At 100%. And, for me now as sheriff, I sleep better at night knowing that I have this team in our toolbox, right? That we're capable of taking on these massive challenges because we have a lot of really good people with a lot of great expertise. But going back to that, it's not just the initial response, because then you get into the recovery phase, right? Where you're having to go through and you're having to search, locations for potential human remains and recovery and all those kinds of things, which is also a very systematic but complex endeavor, right? And you guys helped out with that pretty significantly.
Yeah, I mean, that was something that we'd never done before, obviously, on that scale.
Yeah.
And we very quickly learned, the elements that we needed, not just the physical teams we needed out in the field, but the organizationally, how do you manage that? How do you keep track of that?
Right.
So, luckily that one of the software pieces that we used was developed by a member of Nevada County Search and Rescue and the Tahoe Nordic Search and Rescue. And he was there with us day 2 of the campfire, helping us develop the needs of, from his software to fit our mission.
Right.
And so very quickly we were able to use that to, keep track of, the homes that were destroyed, the resources needed. We had anthropology out there. We had FEMA task force teams doing the heavy lifting. And then we had our SAR teams out there kind of sifting through the ashes and then being able to overlay the addresses of those who were reported missing, making those a priority. But there's thousands of these data sets. And so how do we do that efficiently? And boy, that was a very quick learning curve. But I'd say at the end of the campfire, we kind of developed a well-oiled machine that, we obviously hope we never have to use again. But if we do, it's there.
Yeah. I also think it's important to, really highlight or recognize the fact that you are now being asked by a lot of other jurisdictions to come and assist them with their disasters, right?
Yes.
And certainly it started, it makes sense in the northern part of California where, Butte County is one of the bigger counties in Northern California. And we have a lot of capabilities compared to a lot of other Northern California counties. And so I wasn't at all surprised when my counterparts in Northern California would call and ask. And I'm honored to be able to send our team to other locations to help those people out.
Yeah.
But I think there's something really significant about the fact that we were asked to go to LA County.
That was wild. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
And I will tell you, LA County is it's a big county with massive resources, right?
Right.
It's rare that LA County asks anybody for help. Right.
Yeah.
Even from a mutual aid standpoint, generally speaking, they have enough law enforcement officers in LA County to handle almost anything that is going on there. And so it's rare for them to ask for outside assistance.
Right.
But for them to ask for us, and I think it was probably, how many days into that fire did we get the request, do you know?
It was pretty early on.
Yeah.
I would say it was probably day 3 or 2 or 3. Yeah.
And it was a recognition that, hey, we haven't dealt with anything like this before. Because I think, and talking to folks who went through that, I don't think anybody in LA contemplated that a wildfire would burn through the populated areas that it burned through.
Right. Yeah. It was a huge surprise. Yeah.
Now we had already experienced that.
Yes.
Granted in a less populated area, but I don't, given our size and our resources, the campfire blew through areas that I don't think anybody thought would ever burn like they did, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys go down there and you start helping them by utilizing the expertise that you gained here. And I'm going to tell you, I think that it's an amazing thing that you guys were asked to do that. And I'm proud that you were able to go down there and do it.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. No, we were blown away. I mean, what an honor to be called to that sort of, high level disaster. I still don't think majority of the folks in the room knew that we were volunteers, and
probably not.
We had skipped out on our day jobs and families to do that. But no, I mean, it's certainly not proprietary. I mean, we absolutely love sharing what we've learned, and obviously it's going to be beneficial to all the other counties, and so. We assisted them enough to where they were able to kind of take our plans and be able to orchestrate it themselves afterwards. And, a lot of it had to do with the repopulation plans on, traffic control points. How do you open up an area without inadvertently opening up another area that you didn't want to? And, luckily we have the team to do it, and it's our pleasure.
that whole thing, responding to those disasters, getting people out. Well, first off, notifying them, evacuating them, securing the area, repopulation is such a complex thing. When I first became sheriff, I didn't really have a good understanding of that. We've regrettably had to go through so many things that have given to us. But I think what's interesting is on my this morning I was listening to the radio, and there's a news report about how a recent after-action report came out about the response to the Eaton and the Palisades fire. And, the report talks about how there were breakdowns in communication at the very beginning, and that their alert and warning system wasn't up to, wasn't robust enough to do the things that they need to do.
Right.
And I couldn't help but to think this is exactly what we faced in 2018.
Right. One of the biggest challenges, again, was communication.
Yeah.
And we're still preaching this today.
Yeah.
So at the end of the first day there at Butte College, we had just a smidge over 400 law enforcement show up wanting to help.
Right.
And our biggest challenge was we had no way to communicate with them.
Okay.
Even though they all brought their radios with them.
Right.
Most radios didn't have any means of talking to each other outside of, you take an officer from the Sacramento area or the Redding area or any of these other, municipalities. Their radios are designed to work there.
Correct.
And there is a plan in place. And I hate to say it, I know we're law enforcement here, but the fire side gets it.
Yeah. Okay.
They have the communication plans in place. Any fire engine in California is able to talk to another fire engine in California. And that's something that law has struggled with for years. And so since the Camp Fire, we've been preaching we need to get these interoperability channels in law enforcement radios, because it was a huge officer safety issue. I remember we deployed 4 teams of 4 Chico PD from Butte College up Clark Road for a number of assignments. And they got split up. Several of them came back and said, hey, there's power lines, there's trees, there's debris on fire in the road. Let's not send anybody else up there.
Right.
And by the way, the other half of our team is somewhere in between 2 burning obstacles. We had no way of telling them or knowing if they were okay. So for us, it's huge. I mean, that's why communications is so important.
Yeah. I mean, now I see, we get into the situation where you roll in and there's an entire operation designed to program radios.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
On the fly.
The communications unit leader and the comm techs are just, in my mind, as important as the incident commander. Again, you can have the best people, the best equipment, but man, if you can't communicate, your mission is lost.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to talk about a few things about volunteer and how you might help out, what you would do if you got lost. But before we do that, so what is your most memorable call?
Oh wow, gosh! I mean, we talked about the campfire.
Sure,
that's
right.
a given.
Indelible.
I would say the InSkip search in 2007.
Okay.
So this was a family of 5.
Okay.
Right before Christmas.
Okay.
I decided to go up and get a Christmas tree.
Okay. Right.
It was a Sunday.
Okay.
And they decided to go just a mile or 2 past InSkip.
Okay.
And a storm had come in that night. We didn't get the call till Monday evening.
Oh, wow.
And it was only after, some friends and family kind of put 2 and 2 together. The father didn't show up to work.
Okay.
The kids weren't in school. And, oh, yeah, that's right. They were getting a Christmas tree. So, it took us a while. We finally found their vehicle.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was already nighttime, Monday. So 24 hours later, and another storm was starting to come in.
Okay.
So the snowflakes starting to fall. And the little signs that we did have, the tracks in the snow, were starting to fill up. And so we knew we were going to have a difficult mission ahead of us.
Right.
So we called in for help, called in for mutual aid. At the height of that search, we had, I think, over 100 searchers in the field. Many of them on snowshoes, snowmobiles. This was before we had a snowcat, so we had several snowcats come in from out of the area, and we got into day 2 and day 3. in day 4. And
Wow.
at this point, we're thinking, this is very unlikely.
Yeah.
We're going to find this family alive.
Yeah.
And we were having to rethink our strategy on this. And so luckily, that last day, there was a small break in the storm. A highway patrol helicopter was able to see through the clouds and down into a culvert.
Okay.
The family had originally left the Skyway, couldn't find a Christmas tree in this bowl that they were in, and went down to the next ravine and the next one.
On foot?
On foot.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Had gotten dark.
Okay.
And kind of forgot which way they were going, and ended up going further downhill and had ran into a logging road.
Okay.
SPI's A line, and had found a culvert to seek shelter in.
And is that where they stayed?
That's where they stayed for
Okay.
several days.
Wow.
They were tired. They were hungry. A lot of frostbite, a lot of hypothermia.
Yeah.
And we don't think they had more than another 6 hours to go.
Well, you can't go that many days with. You can't go very many days without water, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the problem. And then, of course, compounded with the hypothermia and some of those things. So, yeah, it sounds like you got to the right in the nick of time.
That was a huge win for our team. That was before a lot of social media and smartphones and all of that. They had a cell phone, but it was in the car.
Yeah.
Just the amount of focus on that search, the intensity. Obviously, it caught attention in the national media. So we had all these massive semi trucks from national news there.
Yeah.
And it was coined the Christmas miracle. I mean,
Yeah.
they got them out right before Christmas.
Yeah.
And the extended family was there. They were all in tears. I mean, we were in tears.
For sure.
I mean, we were
For
so
sure.
tired, and a lot of us got absolutely no sleep for those days. And man, what a Christmas miracle!
Absolutely. Yeah. Made it all worth it.
Yeah,
Made it all worth it.
Now we also have a lot of funnier stories up in that
Sure.
area too. We about a year later, we get a call for a family of 5
Okay.
again. In a maroon Chevy Avalanche
Okay.
truck.
Okay. All right.
Pretty
Okay.
specific.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuck in the snow, again, looking for a Christmas tree. And we get up there and we find the maroon Chevy Avalanche family of 5. And they say, thank God you guys are here. We are tired. We're hungry. We're frozen. We're from Chico. Let's go back down the hill. And
Right.
we get them out.
Okay.
We get back down to Chico. We're putting gear away, and dispatch calls.
Okay.
And says, hey, that family in the Chevy Avalanche, that they're wondering where you're at. Well, we brought them home.
You're kidding me.
So we turn around. We had just fueled everything up.
Right.
We go back up to Inskip. We pass by the first Chevy Avalanche, maroon,
Right.
nonetheless.
Yeah.
And about a mile further up the road, we run into an identical Chevy Avalanche, maroon in color, with the family of 5, starving to death and hypothermic. And
Wow.
so what are the chances?
What are the chances exactly?
So from that point forward, we check names.
Agreed. Exactly. And look a little far. Yeah. You never know. Right.
Yeah.
What is the number one thing that you can tell somebody if they are lost?
Mm-hmm.
What should they do?
Stay put.
Stay put.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, it's best practice to tell somebody where you're going.
Okay, fair
have a
enough.
plan.
Yeah.
And so if you don't show up by, the time you're supposed to, that
Yeah.
they report you, very rarely would we say, get up and go.
Okay.
9 times out of 10, you're going to make the situation worse.
If you're wandering about, it's going to be harder to find you.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have a list of what we call, it used to be the 10 essentials. It's now
Okay.
the 12 essentials. So the
Okay.
things that you should carry if you're
Yeah.
going out into the woods.
Yeah.
And it's, items to keep you safe, and shelter and food and signaling and all that. But I wouldn't have said this a few years ago, but as of today, I would say your cell phone, your smartphone. We've had this interesting phenomenon here in the county after all the fires that we've had. The amount of cell phone service in the middle of nowhere has greatly improved.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's the trees that have been burned, but you're able to get out more often now than not.
Even with text messaging, you get
Right.
where you can't maybe call, but you get a text.
And
message.
with recent iPhones and Androids, you've got that text to satellite feature.
Yeah.
we've had a number of calls. I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago where we had our first call for that, based on that.
Yeah.
And so far, so good. It seems to be working well.
Good.
With that too, when you call 911, your location services automatically get turned on.
Right.
And now we have a set of coordinates.
Yes.
So we no longer have to ask you or have you describe where the heck you are. We have a pretty good idea of where you're at.
Yeah.
But no, most importantly, stay put.
Okay.
Keep a positive attitude.
Okay.
Make yourself be seen. If you have any brightly colored clothing or anything like that, certainly don't hide.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and also think about what your capabilities are and where you're going to go and whether or not you're going to be able to do that.
Yeah. Certainly don't go out by yourself. If you do have, a buddy or a plan, if you're four-wheeling, have another rig.
Yeah.
And have the gear to get yourself out for sure. So
I want to end with this. We've already talked about the fact that the team is made up exclusively of volunteers. There's I have a liaison for the team that is employed, but everybody else who is part of the team is all volunteers. So you're all giving your own time.
Right.
But in addition to that, the vast majority of equipment that you have is all acquired by the team through fundraising and donations, right?
Right, grants.
Yeah, exactly.
Any way that we can get it. But I mean, that is one of the biggest misconceptions of our team is that we're fully funded.
Yeah.
And we're not.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're not. And literally, I mean, you have millions of dollars worth of equipment that you have acquired over the years through various funding mechanism source.
Right.
But a lot of it is fundraising that has to be done by the team, right?
Right. And I would say our team spends just as much time fundraising and doing community outreach as we do out in the field.
Right,
I mean, we just had our annual golf tournament.
Did, yeah. And that went well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say the biggest thing that we're fundraising for right now is a new headquarters. Our building our headquarters that we're at right now, we've been there for almost 40 years.
Right.
And it was designed and built way before we had such complex missions, complex equipment, and this many members.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of bursting at the seams. And how that's really affected us is a lot of our equipment we have to store outdoors.
Yeah.
And things like snowcat tracks, being out in the elements in the sun. I mean, it's detrimental to our equipment.
For sure.
So
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only that though. Not only is it you have to store a certain piece of equipment outside, which isn't optimal for maintaining the equipment, but even the equipment that you store inside. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not uncommon for you to go to the headquarters, have to pull a bunch of equipment out just to get to the piece of equipment that you need.
Right.
Hook up to it, push the other stuff back in, and then deploy. Whereas if you had a headquarters that was designed for that, you go in, you grab the stuff, and you're on your way.
Right. We call it our game of Tetris, if you will.
Right.
To get our stuff out. Yeah.
So the big push right now is to find a better location and be able to ultimately build a facility that meets the needs of the organization currently.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And we've looked at the data. I mean, where our call outs happen most frequently.
Yeah.
And where we're at in South Chico is just about perfect for us. But we focus so much in that corner of Chico. I mean, we even have members that have chosen where they live based on where we're at.
Got it. Okay.
We're looking for a couple of acres. We'd love to build a new building and have it set up in such a way where, we show up and within a minute, we are in the vehicle with the trailer that we need, whether it's a boat or a Polaris Ranger, Snowcat, what have you, and we're on the road to effect that rescue. A number of our rescues have happened successfully because we've gotten there within minutes of them not making it. And so minutes count, seconds count.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. So if somebody is inspired to be a member of our search and rescue team, what's the best way for them to make that contact?
Sure. Come to one of our meetings.
Okay.
So we meet the second Tuesday of the month at our headquarters on Morrow Lane in Chico, 7:00. And just come and hang out. I mean, you'll listen to one of our meetings.
Show up unannounced?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we'll have you introduce yourself to the team. And, after the meeting, we'll take you out into the equipment bay, give you a tour, kind of answer some questions. We have a lot of information on our website, buttesar.org.
Okay.
And, it takes a while to onboard with the team.
Yeah.
And so we have some stuff on our team calendar that anyone can attend, work parties. That's probably one of the best ways to get to know our team. Once a month, we come down and clean gear.
Oh,
we
yeah.
restock supplies.
Sure.
And that's a great way to get to learn our team. But no, I'd say come to a general meeting, and we'd love to meet you.
Good. And if somebody is looking to support search and rescue financially, what's the best way to do that?
Again, our website, buttestar.org/donate. We have an online form where, not only you can donate, but, you can buy a brick in our new building.
Yep.
You can help sponsor our golf tournament each year. And we'll also put you on the list for our newsletter. And so we send out a letter each year on here's everything that we've been up to.
Yeah, great. Well, Dan, as I've said to you before, and every chance I get an opportunity to say it, I want to thank you and all the members of the team. I am proud to have you as part of the sheriff's office. When I say that I sleep better at night, knowing that you guys are out there doing the things that you do and that you have the capabilities of, that's an absolute genuine statement.
Thank you.
Butte County is well served and much better protected by virtue of the fact that we have the Butte County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Team filled with amazing individuals who have incredible technical experience, but even more so just the heart to serve and protect our community. So thank you.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to serve.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, that will conclude this episode of the Sheriff's Mic. Until next time, of course, stay informed, stay safe, and as always, you're cleared to talk.